Hey, Cardinals fans. Welcome to the Redbird Rundown. I'm Jonathan, joined by Matt and Amy. And in this episode, we have an interview with our friend Scott Plaza, our first interview on Redbird Rundown, woot woot, who writes for Redbird Rants. So be sure and check him out over there on that website. We will discuss a few New Year's resolutions, and we will debate our friend Carlos Beltran's Hall of Fame case. But before we get to that, you can email the pod at redbirdrundownpod@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter at Redbird Rundown 2, on Blue Sky at Redbird Rundown, and follow us on Facebook at Redbird Rundown Podcast. Obviously, take a second here and follow, rate, and review the pod on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, as that is the best way to get our show out there and to have more fans join in on the conversation. So before we get into the rundown, fellas, I hear it is snowing. I guess you don't hear snow. I see that it is snowing back in the St. Louis area.
No, you can hear snow for sure. So I just got back from Florida and on a vacation down with mom, and had to come back to a winter storm. So I was in Kentucky filling up, and it really struck me like on the way back how bad this thing was going to be for the people in the ice strip, right? Because there's snow and ice, and every gas station there were people just filling up containers worth of gas, for their gas generators. So I was like, oh boy. So I got back, and I tell you what, boys, I thought I had it under control. I rolled in about lunchtime and was like, all right, gonna go get some food for groceries, gonna get some firewood in. And it just all fell apart. The Walmart order was delayed. There were substitutions galore because it was a madhouse in there, I guess. So I had to send my wife in there to go fight with that. And she had the kids because meanwhile, I had overloaded the trailer full of wood, and I didn't know it had rained as much as it did. I sunk the trailer about 8 inches into the mud. Had my car stuck out in my yard. So
God, you just need to go back to Florida.
I was going to say,
I was not in a good way. About 2:00 yesterday.
Wow.
I literally sent a Gondor calls for aid to about 3 of my friends.
The beacon's lit
the beacon of Amanhu or whatever.
Rohan answered the call and came down with the 4-wheeler and trailer and helped me out.
That's absolutely hilarious. I will say, though, Kentucky has gotten a lot of run on this show early, hasn't it?
It has, yes.
It's
it has.
I mean, no offense to the Kentuckians out there, but we're going to dial that back.
No, yeah. I mean,
hey, Kentucky's part of Cardinal Nation, no doubt.
That's true.
Well, I don't know how you guys spent your New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. I got sick and was throwing up.
I went to bed at 10 p.m. on New Year's Eve and got up on New Year's Day whenever I wanted to, and absolutely did not do anything special at all.
Well, so mom warned me that like it was gonna be crazy. She was like, people go nuts down here for New Year's. I was like, okay, but no, there were nonstop fireworks till 4 a.m. and I was nauseous. Yeah, those old people, man. No, it was not pleasant to be sick, throwing up, and as soon as I doze off after not being nauseous, I was awoken by fireworks.
Wow. So what you're saying is you brought sickness into the new year?
I did, literally did. It was nice, a nice vacation day, for sure.
Oh man, one more word on the snow preparedness. So please. I hosted an.
Did you get stuck in 8 inches?
No, nope. I hosted an all on Friday night into Saturday morning. It's something we always do pre-Christmas, but their schedule worked out, blah, 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 better. Anyway, I needed to go to Walmart to, stock up on some junk food to get us through the night. And I think I know how bad things are going to be. And let's just call this the pizza roll quotient. Because I walked into that frozen aisle at Walmart, and those pizza rolls were just decimated. Like I literally barely could find a bag or two to buy for these kids to make it 2:00 in the morning. So,
which is an interesting call considering that, if ice is in the forecast, you're not going to have electricity. So what are you going to do? Like just
you guys never gnawed on frozen
pizza rolls.
Hey, look, I've made pizza rolls on the grill before. They are
I mean, you can do that.
Yes,
just don't heat your house with the grill. Okay. People in Texas found that out. Don't do that.
That is true. No power. Get the frozen stuff. You'd think canned goods. But
it was decimated.
There's not a whole lot. What are you gonna do? PB and banana like on sandwiches? Like what else?
Yeah, I don't know.
You just put your jelly outside and get the jelly. It should be fine.
Yeah. We're gonna have to reminisce on some. I have some snow stories of like almost killing myself with like being pulled by a 4-wheeler. There's some
Those are
stuff
always great.
we're gonna have to talk about at some point, but
Always
we'll
great.
save that. We'll save that for another time. So, coming up after the break here, we will have a discussion with Scott Plaza.
We are thrilled to be joined by the very first guest on Redbird Rundown. This is Scott Plaza. He's coming to us and doing some writing in the Cardinals space. We were just talking to him a bit off air, and I guess he's got some family members that work for the Cubs organization. So he's just really, really having to bring it with his family. But he's been doing some writing lately for Redbird Rants, which you should definitely check out his articles. He's been doing some kind of off season and looking forward into the season, things that we should do with our pitching staff and our roster. And I got to be honest, Scott, I read your articles and I think they're well done, but I don't always agree with everything that you say. And I think that's fun as part of being the Cardinals community. So welcome, Scott. We're thrilled to have you today.
Well, thank you very much for having me on. I'm really excited to do this and share my Cardinals thoughts. Like you said, I got family members that are working for the Cubs, but I'm from a diehard Cardinal fan family. So I'm just hopefully getting a chance to share my thoughts. Like you said, not agreeing with what I'm saying is hopefully what us sports fans do. Like I've seen a lot of times where guys sit around in a circle, just name old sports guys and have a best.
Yeah.
And I said,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
exactly what this is. So.
Yep.
After listening to you guys, I said the same thing. Like, this is just, I want to just jump in and have a conversation with you. So I'm very excited to do this.
Awesome. So I was looking at your Blue Sky profile, and it says that you are a former pro pitcher. I wonder if you could like give us a little background on that. Like, were you bringing the heat, or what? What give us your comp? What were you?
Yeah, so I played college baseball at junior college and then went to Wisconsin Whitewater where we won the national championship my senior year. And I was the pitcher during that game, so that was a big fun experience. And then after that, I bounced around a few independent baseball leagues. So from the Frontier League, American Association, Can-Am League, and then the Pacific Association out in California. So there's a lot of fun trying to life on the road type of stuff. And then unfortunately, age and Tommy John got me.
Oh no.
But I'm still throwing now. I'm playing in men's leagues over the summer and having a lot of fun with that. So yeah.
That's awesome, man. So when you say Frontier League, that one piqued my interest. Are we talking like the Grizzlies? Like that's their league, right? Gateway Grizzlies.
Yeah, absolutely. So that was
Nice,
one of my last games was playing in Gateway before I actually blew out my shoulder. So I played for the Schaumburg Boomers, which is actually where I'm from that area. So played all around that area. Yep.
So were you a starter or reliever in college when you played?
Yeah, I was a starter
Nice.
all throughout college, and then for my first couple of years in indie ball, and then my last year I was out of the bullpen, so did it all.
Nice. Okay, I gotta ask, lefty or righty though?
Unfortunately, a righty.
Righty. Okay, I was gonna say so. The guy didn't come out. The manager didn't like point at the left arm. He just
No.
like pointed over there. And
No, they're like, give me that big, tall
yeah.
guy down there.
Give me one of the 10 righties we have.
Exactly.
Oh, Jonathan, I don't know how you feel right now. I'm not even sure if I can be on this Zoom call anymore.
No.
Like this guy has actual athletic ability, and I'm just down here sitting in my basement. Like,
yeah, and I'm pretty sure I've struck out in slow pitch softball before.
Well, I was listening to you guys last week talking about going to the speed gun and the guy.
Yeah.
And I enjoy doing that too. And thinking to see high numbers, and then you don't. And
all right, be honest with us. We're gonna have to ask what can you still hit? What can you still hit? Because I'm so lucky if I can get in the 60s anymore. It's so bad.
This past summer, I hit 91.
Oh my gosh.
So I felt it for about 2.5 weeks after that, all through my body. But hey, I'm just going to do it as long as I can.
Wow.
My wife says it's time to stop. So I think that's coming soon.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. I do have one like 30-second abbreviated story. My cousin pitched, or our cousin, I say we're related, believe that or not. Yeah. Our cousin pitched in college as well at JUCO, and he was a reliever. He touched the low 90s, and he had Tommy John a couple times. But after the first time, I was helping him once. We were all from the same hometown, and I was catching a bullpen for him once, like as he's recovering. And like, listen, I followed baseball. I played it some in like grade school and like tampered with it a little bit in high school. And he's like, all right, man, I'm gonna throw like 80%. And I'm like, okay, what is that? So he's throwing like mid 80s, and he's like, hey, man, I'm going to throw a changeup at you. And so I'm sitting, I have no gear on, just like a shortstop's glove. Okay. Sitting on a metal chair in this high school. He's like, I'm going to throw a changeup. I'm like, okay, what's it going to move? Like, what are we talking? He's like, it shouldn't move that much. He throws it, man, and this thing drops like 7 inches down. Don't hit it. Don't catch it at all. And it hits the rim of the seat and dents the seat.
Oh,
Oh,
So we're talking like, a quarter
Right
inch
there.
up, and I'm just dead.
you're it.
Right.
No kids. That's
So I
goodbye.
told him, I was
That's
like,
over.
listen, I love you. I appreciate what you're trying to do, and I'm trying to help you, but I swear I'll never do this again. So,
That was my first experience in the Frontier League catching for a fifth round draft pick who
Oh,
sat 96 with a splitter, and
mm,
I went Division 3, so I'm seeing 82, 85, and this
sure.
96, then a splitter that drops about 8 inches right into the no zone. So
yeah,
the eye-opening experience that I'm really not that good.
I'll
So
tell you though, and in my very limited catching experience that you just heard, the amount of respect I have for like positions like that, light catchers or in hockey like goalies, these guys are nuts. Like you see them do it instinctively, but that takes like such a mental like hurdle to do that willingly. So I mean,
It does. And you see, like, I've been guilty of this before where I'll see the bullpen catcher, like, warming up a guy getting ready to come in. I'm like, okay, how much is that guy making? I could do that.
oh
But
yeah.
what you guys are talking about, I don't think I want to. I'll just stay in the classroom. It's much safer. Like, I'm not going to get
yes,
killed. Like, it's going to be
Yeah.
fine. Yeah.
yes. So
Business
Scott,
decision.
oh no, go ahead.
No, I was just saying that'd be a business decision for
Oh
sure.
yeah, absolutely. So I was going to ask. So, you're talking about the Chicagoland. So how did you become a Cardinal fan? Like, where's that come from?
So my mom's from the Champaign, Thomasboro
Oh,
area.
okay.
So big 50-50 split with Cubs and Cardinals fans down there.
Yeah.
And her mom, my grandma, was a big closet Cardinals fan. And then as soon as her husband, my grandpa, passed away, she really showed out that Cardinals
Okay.
were the way to go. And my mom took that up north with her. And just my mom was an athlete and just kind of following sports. It's a family tradition now. Every
Yeah.
year we go down since we've been 2 years old and catch a weekend series.
Hmm.
Uh, so we haven't missed a year. I've missed one year because of playing in California.
Okay.
But
Hmm.
my other brothers have been going for 30 plus years, and now we're able to take our kids down and start this. It's an awesome
That
experience.
is really awesome. I feel like it's like the reverse probably of what we've experienced because we all grew up
Hmm.
in Southern Illinois. So it's mostly Cardinals fans. And there are a smattering of Cubs fans down here. I feel like yours is just completely and totally the opposite.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And then there's the occasional White Sox fan who's just not able to contribute to anything.
There are White Sox fans. Like that's a real thing. Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So I definitely echo that. So the cousin we're talking about went to Parkland,
Okay.
which is
Yeah.
right there. And
Mhm.
so when I'd go visit him, you'd see so many Cubs things. And I guess I just don't realize that like Champaign, I don't think of that as being like Northern Illinois. It's not really Northern Illinois. It's just kind of in
Hmm.
the middle. And you're like, man, like that this is the split. Like
Yeah.
you feel like a little like you're scared just a little bit. All this Cub stuff.
Well, I went to U of I for undergrad, and I mean, there's so many people from Chicago that go to
Yeah.
school there. It just kind of
Mhm.
culturally is Chicago. So,
My brother went to U of I for the history program, so
okay.
we'll have to
Same.
talk about that another time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Oh, that's funny.
Absolutely. Okay, so it is the beginning of 2025. I feel like we've referenced this on this podcast, and as Scott has referenced it in his writing, that it's going to be a kind of an odd season, potentially an odd season. Although one thing I've enjoyed about Scott's writing is he's really highlighted like I don't know if this team is as far away from competing in a weekend central as we're all just kind of thinking we're going to take a step back because those are the types of things that we're hearing from the organization. But I don't know. Maybe, a couple of these guys break out and do a little better than we think, and we're right in the middle of it. So what we thought we'd do is start the year with some Cardinals resolutions. And the concept of a New Year's resolution, some people love it, some people hate it, some people try it for 3.5 days and then they give up. But just something from us as fans, as writers, as podcasters to try to think in different ways about this 2025 season coming up. So sounds like to me that we've all got two or three. I think we'll just
Mhm.
go round robin around the Zoom meeting here and see what people have. Jonathan, why don't we start with one of your resolutions and see where that's going to take
Yeah.
us?
So I kind of I struggle with this a little bit because I tried to think of it like how everybody does the I want to work out more,
Yeah.
right? I want to read this amount of books or something like that, right?
Yeah.
So I tried to think if you're the Cardinals, like what has got to be like the number one thing that you do, okay? And I think it has to be, and they've talked about this, but it is truly committing to development for the long haul. And when
Okay.
I say long haul, I mean more than just a season. And this is talking if we have to, because I know we've said this, it's a soft reset, but if it takes 2 or 3 seasons, not of just total bottom of the barrel mediocrity, but if it did to reset this the right way and do it, I would be okay with that. And I think extends to players as well, right? I hope they do that. You know how we have seen certain players come up like Walker. He's an awesome example for this. Like you think he's going to be good instantly, and he wasn't. He struggled up here, and we pull him from AAA to the league, to the big leagues, and it's like let's just let this guy play, right? Let's let these guys play if we have to. So I think it's approach over the long haul and also with players individually.
So your resolution is like
that they need to commit to it. Just commit to it. Commit to it. Okay. Don't get the Bowflex and you're out a month later. You know what I mean? Like let's do it for 12 months or whatever it takes and just really commit.
I appreciate the caveat of the if we have to. Like we've been talking about, I don't see this being that whole long thing as kind of what I'll be talking about during my writing and during this podcast as well. That it's really not going to be as bad as we think. Fingers crossed, as we sit on January 2nd.
Yeah, right.
Agree. All right, Scott, what's a resolution you're bringing to the table this year for the Cardinals?
So I was looking towards like kind of the fan perspective and media perspective of like what we can do to understand what the season's going to be. So my first one is to just move on from the previous trade blunders. Like we get it. Adolis Garcia's gone, Gallen's gone, Alcantara's gone, Randy Arozarena, all these guys are gone. But we're looking at the close to a decade since these moves have been happening. And then you look at the majority of them outside of Gallen and Alcantara, they're outfielders that we always talk about the logjam.
Yeah.
And then when you look at the moves, as they were made, the fans appreciated that dealing from prospect depth, getting an Arenado, getting a Goldschmidt.
Yeah.
The rest trading Lane Thomas for a John Lester. That stuff was we applauded that as fans as that happened, and now we're holding that over their heads when we see one of those guys go on a short run. I mean, even Dylan Carlson had a week where he looked like a prospect with the Rays, and people were like, "Oh, they did it again."
Yeah.
In all reality, it's they made moves that they had to do, and we feel as fans that they were made at the right time. It's just time to move along from there.
Yeah.
I like that a lot because, well, one thing I really don't appreciate very much as a fan is, well, let me take a half step back. I usually try to let other people fan the way they want to fan. I don't like to be negative and angry all the time, so that's not usually the way I want to do it. But if that's how you get enjoyment out of like participating with the Cardinals, go ahead. But what I don't like is we can't have this both ways. We can't be ready to like drive Tyler O'Neill to the airport ourselves to get rid of him. And then if he's pretty good for the Boston Red Sox, we can't turn around and be mad about that. So I think that is good. Just let bygones be bygones. We've made the decisions we've made. But man, if we could get one back, that Gallen and Alcantara trade is man.
Yeah. It feels good too, because it's like this is truly like a turn the page. The year's over. Let's just turn the page.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah.
Okay, so my first one, I'm also thinking this more from the fan and media side, and this is something that I personally struggle with quite a bit. I'm going to try hard to watch this year and participate this year with just like a more low stakes approach. I am not going to check the standings all the time. I am not going to try to figure out how many games back we are. We're going to try to resist the urge of doing that, even if, to Scott's point, maybe we're better than we think we're going to be, and we're in it. I'm going to try hard to just watch for development, watch for take the pressure off of all this. If Jordan Walker is bad, okay, he's bad. We need to let him be bad for 4 or 5 months and just see what we have. So I'm going to consciously, and this is, like I said, this is something I struggle with because I love this team. I love competing, and I've gotten used to in my adult life, we're in the playoffs every year, all the time. And so I've just gotten used to a particular kind of fandom. And so I'm going to try to, you referenced the White Sox fan. I don't want to be a White Sox fan, but I'm going to try to approach it maybe a little more like that. Like, let's just let the kids play. And that means I need to approach this a little bit different way as well.
Yep. Yeah. No, that's a great one. And it's just like, we have just been full court press the entire time. You expect a certain product, and I think that we will get to that point again.
Yes.
I think we're not just going to fall.
Oh, I'm ready to hold their feet to the fire again.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
it's going to happen. But it's okay if this year, it's okay for a while that we just take a step back, because you can enjoy some of the incremental progress too.
Yes.
Because it was so miserable when Gorman just was falling off a cliff last year.
Yep.
It was so sad because you're like, you want him to produce so badly, and we needed him, right? Like, forget Goldie, you forget the guys that are obviously disappointing and should be that, but these younger guys like him, it was so depressing. So I'm going to take that one too. That's a good one. I want to do that.
Okay. All right, Jonathan, I think you're up.
Yeah. Okay, so I have both of mine were like they're really more team oriented.
Yeah, you were telling the organization what to do. I like it.
Yeah, I like this is the other one the organization needs to do. Okay, here's the second one. They need to develop or just buy into a consistent approach at the plate. Okay. So
Brant Brown, I hope you're listening right now.
Brant Brown, right. So I look back last 5 years or so of where we are in like runs average per season, right? Just across the entire major leagues. And we were fine from 2020 to 2022, right? We were right around it or above it. 2022, we were like 7th in the league, just in runs scored. Okay. Yeah. 23 and 24, we were like 20th and 23rd. We were lower. It was well below the median. Mm-hmm. And that's a problem. Now, is that the hitting coach's fault? I don't know. I couldn't place a blame. It's probably blame pie. Everybody.
You know what? Let me pause, because I've talked to you about this a lot. Scott, what do you think about a hitting coach? Like, how much, like, what does he do? How much blame does that guy get? It's just like a black box to me, because I don't know what's fair to hold him responsible for.
Yeah, that's a great question, honestly. Being in the independent leagues too, we're working with bare bones staff. We don't have hitting coordinators. We don't have video stuff.
Right.
I mean, to get there now. But chances are our hitting coach is also our third base coach, who is also our outfield coordinator and stuff like that.
Right.
Where indie ball, everybody's goal is just to get out and go to the next level. That everybody was kind of on their own program trying to get out of there. But at the upper levels, truly, I mean, these guys have been doing this for so long. They've been through so many programs, college, high school, minor league systems, that they kind of know what works best for them. That, to Jonathan's point, maybe it is just an approach thing, that once the team can figure out what it is that they want to do. I mean, there's not going to be a bunch of 30 home run guys. Maybe they're going to be double to double or gap to gap doubles hitter, where maybe Brant Brown and unleash that with the approach. And I think that is something that the hitting coach and all that staff is able to do.
And the only reason I'm saying that, and hopefully I was going to add, Scott, there wasn't like a trash can banger. There wasn't one of those guys.
No, we never had any of that. Maybe some of that sticky stuff, but
we wanted to keep people alive.
Well, you guys won the title, so we just thought we'd check,
Yeah. Just making sure. No, but it feels like, with the uproar the last couple of seasons of like, we were not producing, it feels like there's so much pressure on the hitting department just as a whole, that it's like, well, this isn't working. We need to switch. And I don't have a shred of evidence that proves any of that. Right. But just from my perspective in my seat, it feels like it would help to just buy into something consistent and just go with it and see if you have a slump for a couple months. Does it continue? Do you get yourself out of it? That could all be FUBAR, but that's where I'm sitting. That's what I think.
Scott, bring us another resolution here.
All right, so mine's kind of, I'm just going to touch on this one that was similar to Matt's real quick, that I think how we started talking on Blue Sky was just commenting back and forth as to what we thought about the season upcoming. And my second resolution was just understand that the 2025 season is a glimpse to the future, especially if we're committed to, as both of you are saying, letting the kids play. 6 of the everyday expected offensive players are 27 or younger. And then when you look at your oldest piece, it's going to be somebody like Wilson Contreras that, I can't see this team being as bad offensively as it was this past year. Letting Jordan Walker and Gorman get in 600 at bats, as you're saying, it was painful to watch those Gorman at bats before he was sent down. And I am huge on him, 30 home runs at a minimum.
Yes.
A more athletic Kyle Schwarber, I think is
that's a great, that would be great.
Love to see that, especially if, who knows if he's going to play third or second with what's going on with Arenado. But Mason Wynn, Jordan Walker, Ivan Herrera, like, we're going to see this season, and we got to understand what it's going to be. If they struggle like the Brewers did with Churio last year, leave Walker up there, leave Gorman up there, let him figure it out. Don't touch him. Enough of the Memphis shuttle when you're not in a competitive year, potentially.
Yeah. Oh, I agree with that big time. Yeah, you nailed it.
I mean, we are in such lockstep. It's kind of unbelievable because my
It is.
second resolution in terms of like me, this is me personally watching again, is I'm going to try to watch with growth in mind.
Mm.
And again, if I'm trying to back off on the pressure I put on this team and be a little more low stakes, I need to just enjoy watching baseball too. Like if Mason Wynn is hitting 230, but he makes like an incredible diving catch across the infield and throws a bullet, I
Yeah.
need to just enjoy that and be okay with that.
Mhm.
And as far as improvements, I am going to try to look at like a hitter. If Gorman is struggling, maybe instead of getting exasperated with the struggle, although I think that's still going to be there sometimes, why? It's try to figure out like what is it? What
Mm-hmm.
pitch type is he struggling with? Not that I'm going to like call Gorman up and
Yeah.
fix it on the fly, but just for me personally, if we're going to really watch, to your point, 6 guys under the age of 27, there are going to be some growing pains. So I need
Yeah.
to watch for those. What's this guy struggling with? Kind of make it into a game within a game, or like as I'm watching it at
Mm-hmm.
bat, try to see what's going on within that individual at
Yeah.
bat.
Spoiler, I think it's a fastball up. I think Nolan, if you're listening.
It's slider away for Walker.
Oh my. Yep.
It's,
Yeah, if he could just have a boat oar with 2 strikes, like we might be able to get some singles the other way out of Walker. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
Matt, the way that you're looking, that's how I chose one hitter last year, and that was Burleson for me. I was
Mm.
Okay.
really on the fence with Burleson. I'm like, big guy,
Sure.
but who knows what he can do in the outfield, giving me kind of Chris Duncan vibes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
One of my all-time favorites
Oh,
for
Yeah.
sure.
who knows why, just another one of those random
Yeah.
Cardinals.
Sure. Sure.
RIP
Oh
also.
yeah, man.
Oh
That's
man.
wow.
Not to change the vibe, but
Sure.
watching Burleson going, staying on pitches and driving to the left side.
Yeah.
That first half Burleson, I was so high on him, 15 homers, hitting 270, 280. Same thing that Matt's saying. I was just
Yeah.
with him just finding one guy that I wanted to see what they'd do, and Burleson caught my eye right at the start of the season last year.
Yeah, and I feel like I know Matt has done this. Scott, I don't know if you've done this, but in our years of contention, which is really the last like literally 20, right?
Mhm.
I've looked around the league at other prospects, other things that we see. I'm looking at our farm system, but I also think it's interesting to see like who's a possible trade candidate in somebody else's farm system. And of course, looking into our own. So now it's like you're kind of taking that same approach, but just the literal players you see every single day. Because I don't watch all of the Memphis games because I'm prioritizing watching the big league team.
Yeah.
But I do really like to look at all of the box scores and everything that they've done. Now I think you just take that same approach and apply it to the major league level, right? Just enjoy what you see, and if they're bad, it's okay. They'll produce or they won't. So I agree with this. I like it.
Right, those guys we typically see in Memphis are now going to be with the big
Yeah.
club. So like let's use that as our way to see how the development's going to work. These are the
Yeah.
players that we're hopefully going to see for the next 5 years or so.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to your broader point though, let's say Arenado is traded. I mean, Arenado and Goldie, by the metrics, were exactly league average hitters last year.
Mm-hmm.
That's not that. I know this sounds crazy to say. It's not that difficult to replace that level of production.
Mm-hmm.
So you're right. This is probably a 500 team right now. And if a couple of these guys pop, maybe we get to 86, 87, 88 wins. And that may be enough in the NL Central. I don't know.
Absolutely.
Yeah, whatever the Brewers are doing, stealing our magic. I don't know, because you look at their team every year and you're like, what? Okay, I guess they're just going to win 90 games. It's just what's going to happen.
That team last year was so frustrating. I mean, going into the season, I bet the under on wins. I bet them to finish last in the division, and then we can't be mad at Devil Magic happening.
I mean, I still don't know how they won.
No.
I still don't know.
No.
Like I would just pull up the box score from their games and look at their offense and just just going down like batting average, OBP, like how are you guys scoring any runs at all outside of William? Obviously had some good contributors, but the rest of their lineup, like I just don't know.
And Adames is gone, and they're going to replace 30 homers with.
I know, and this was the year they traded Corbin Burns, and you're like, okay, finally the chink in the armor.
Exactly.
And you're like, okay, whatever.
No, they just did it.
I know.
Jonathan, are you out of resolutions?
I'm out of resolutions.
Well,
I'm just done.
Yeah, you're on the Zoom call with 2 teachers, so I guess we've had some more time. We'll let you.
Yeah,
we'll let you out there.
That's true. That's true.
I was told at minimum, so I meant that you need at least one more.
You know what? I appreciate that the teacher did listen to the directions, though.
Yeah,
it does make me feel good. Me though? No, never.
All right, Scott, what's your last resolution? What'd you bring?
All right, my last one is to just trust in Heimblum.
Oh,
Amen.
Nail it again. So that's where I'm at with it. It's Mo's last year. I'm not on the whole blame Mo for everything, blame DeWitt for not spending. I get it. It's frustrating. I'm in a big market in Chicago, so I get to hear sports radio talking about their spending and all
well,
that stuff.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I get to kind of do that out of town zoning into St. Louis. But I mean, Mo and DeWitt, they what they've done has worked for the last 25 years. And we've been spoiled is in all honesty. So
Yeah.
them being out, I can't see Mo doing these last nuclear moves. I mean, he from what I think is that Mo is a Cardinals fan. He wants to see the team succeed. So he's going to understand that this is his last year. I can't see him making a move that's going to set the franchise back because of making prospect decisions that really, in all reality, should be run by Chaim Bloom if he's not even in charge of it.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to see Mo, and I can't see Mo taking over like that. So with Bloom's track record, yeah, the Mookie Betts trade that wasn't his fault. He was following orders, and now he's going to be in an opportunity to be in his own Tampa Bay type situation and really build from the prospects
Yeah.
and under whatever payroll constraints the DeWitts give.
Oh man, if he turns this into a Tampa Bay situation,
Oh,
like that was music to my ears right
I
there.
know. I know.
Well, I still would appreciate spending a few more
Yeah, yeah,
dollars.
yeah,
Let's
yeah,
get some names out there,
Yeah.
get
yeah,
the
Yeah.
fans excited to
yeah.
come to the ballpark and all
I mean,
that.
but that's the dream, right? He turns us into Tampa Bay with a bigger budget.
Yep.
Is that would be wonderful.
Yeah, and you know, to your point, I was going to mention this at some point, and this worked out pretty well. The Athletic had something the other day. They interviewed or they sent out like a feeler for who they think, like the executives in the four major leagues. What's the top 40 teams, right? So like
Hmm.
number one was the Thunder, right, with Sam Presti and their
Okay.
it did GM, president, and head coach.
Okay.
And at a time, now the Cardinals weren't on this list. The Blues were tied for last, which I thought was interesting
Mm.
because if you follow the Blues at all, their GM is really good,
Yeah.
right? Doug Armstrong, and he's really well liked, and he's done a lot of crazy moves to get them to where they are and remain competitive in a pretty small market like the Blues are. But the Cardinals were nowhere near that, and I thought if you did this 5 years ago, I was going to say 10, but if you did even 5 years ago, do we crack that list? And I'm hoping with what you're saying and what Matt just alluded to, we could enter that again. Like be this just, I don't know, like at the top tier of this, right? Just be what we were once before.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay, I have two follow-up questions about that. One, I think it's pretty easy. The second one might be a little more entertaining. Number one, is Mo in a red jacket at some point in his life?
I think he has to be. Longevity number one, but then the 20 consecutive winning seasons, the 16 playoff appearances, the title in 11. He's got to be. I think so.
Yeah, Jonathan?
Yeah, I think so too. I think that, I mean, there's nothing really his resume because he worked with the team prior to '07
Mhm.
too. He just took over in '07. So he was a
Mhm.
part of even the '06 championship. Plus, he's
Mhm.
been there forever. Now, his predecessor was Walt Jocketty.
Yeah.
I can't remember how long he was doing it. Like, I'm just trying to compare apples to apples.
Yeah,
Like, if
I
you put
don't-
Mo in, do you have to put somebody else in too because of that? Or that's my only thought.
I don't know about Jocketty. I don't honestly can't tell you when Jocketty started. I want to say it was near the like 96 when they brought in LaRussa, sometime around there. I think Mo's like a no doubt he'll be in a red jacket. So the second follow-up question is, what do the fans do? Like on that day, when they bring him out here.
Yeah.
I guess it'll be a few years down the road. It won't be quite so fresh, but
Yeah.
I just really think this fan base has turned on Mo in a way that, to be frank, I'm not sure he deserves like the level of hatred and treatment that he's getting right now. Scott, you're nodding your head.
Yeah, I feel the same. I mean, what more did you want? At the end of the day, he put together winning teams, again, 20 straight winning seasons. If you want to disagree with the manager decisions, especially with Schilt and all that stuff going on, I mean, sure, I guess, but I think he's done exactly what the city and the team needed him to do and put together something to bring 3 million fans into the ballpark. And there's no reason for him to not be wearing that red jacket. I agree with you, Matt.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, like I'm pretty sure Mike Matheny comes back every year now and signs autographs. Like he's brought by the team, and it's like Matheny, love him or hate him, right? Like he kind of had a rough time there, right? He felt we've said this before. We feel like he was given the keys to a Ferrari and like drove it right into a tree,
Yeah.
you know. And that's no disrespect to Mike because he is, no matter what you think, a devilishly handsome man, and he just is.
Incredible jawline,
He
just
just is.
really.
One
Yeah.
of my
Always,
brother's all-time favorites.
yeah, always busting out these watches. You're like, man, where's he getting this from? You know?
As long as it's not a hunting knife.
Yeah, that's right. Right.
Yeah.
That's a callback there. So I agree. I think he's got to be in there, and the fans just need to remember all the good because, like, listen,
Yeah.
if he's done this over all this time and it kind of fell apart there at the end, and the buck does stop with him, you
It
still
does.
have to enjoy the guy's career. He did so much for us.
I agree.
You don't hear in Mo you trust for no reason. You know, like we just abided by that law.
Yeah. I mean, he's even said, you know, you guys are sick of me. It's time to move
Yeah.
on.
He does kind of get it. It's kind of sad to hear him say those types of things.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. So I hope there's a smattering of applause.
Yeah. If I'm there, I'll definitely applaud. I may have to do it kind of like just read the room around me and make sure that I'm not going to get
Yeah,
don't wanna
burned
be
in
the-
effigy. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so my last resolution, I think this is a short and sweet one. This is just for me personally. Again, I'm gonna try to at least second screen every single Cardinals game this year.
Mm.
And that may not be, I may not be able to do that every single time, but I think all the things that we've been talking about, the new players and the low stakes and the watching for improvement, I think all that goes better if I'm at least have the Cardinals on the second screen. And I do think you can watch baseball that way. I think you can be effective with that. So, and these new streaming options, and maybe there'll be a more direct connect for more Cardinals fans. And I think that would be a good thing too. And so, if Donnie's slapping a double into the gap, I'm going to try to be on the screen watching it and just watching that hair flow as he's diving into second base.
The helmet always flying off. That's the only thing
always.
my wife comments on every time. Do their helmets ever stay on? I said,
No,
well, you have hair like that. You got
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, Donnie's got that thing. Somehow he's got that perched where he knows that happens. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
You
really
watch
unbelievable.
games after the fact. Can you watch games not live? Like, would you be able to catch a game the next day? I feel like if I already know the result, I'll maybe watch the recap, but
That's what I do if I were to happen to miss something. Because there are so many like sites now. I was going to add this. Like, Baseball Savant has an awesome if you can go back and look through every at bat. Because I had been doing that at times, even during the game, because it tells you if something was meant to be a home run or not in certain stadiums, which was really kind of neat. But you'd look at the stat line and I'd see, I don't know, like Wynn went 0 for 4, and you're like, oh man, that sucks, right? But then you'd look at this Baseball Savant page and it's like 2 of his outs were lineouts and he hit him 106, and it's like, okay, that makes a whole lot more sense than the stat. And to your point, Matt, if you see that, you're like, okay, Wynn's fine. He just got robbed there or whatever. So I agree. I'm going to try to do that as well too. And it's as long as they have a device or content for us to do that with, right? Something easy for us to consume. Then I'm with you.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, it sounds like at least for these 3 Cardinals fans, we are pretty much on the same page. And what I think that says is probably most of Cardinals Nation is feeling in a similar boat that the 3 of us are as far as that goes. So I think we're all looking forward to the 2025 season, low stakes season, a season of development, improvement, and with the young guys. So we definitely want to thank Scott for taking out the time on his Christmas break for joining us and being here today, and just paving the path for future Redbird Rundown guests like John Hamm, and who knows what will be in the future. We'll definitely have to have Scott back, though. We had a great time with him today. And again, just want to thank him for spending some time with us. Thanks a lot.
Much appreciated, guys. Thank you so much. A lot of fun.
All right. Coming back, we are going to talk about Carlos Beltran's Hall of Fame case. But before we set that up and get into that, as we alluded to at the top, Andy was in Florida and was not available because he was having fun while we were talking to our friend
puking,
Scott.
fireworks, all the things.
I think the day
So I tried to take it positive for you there, but he was puking.
Sorry,
so
Scott,
he wasn't
up,
having a good time.
Oh, man.
So we're going to give him a few minutes here to walk through his New Year's resolutions as Matt and I walk through ours with Scott. So Andy, I'll toss it over to you. What do you have on the New Year's resolution front?
So I'm going to do my best as a casual fan to be a voice for watching early on with you guys, some young guys who are good and promising and giving promising stat lines and voicing that to people around me
Oh,
are not good. So the word of mouth caller or the word of mouth person, like I'll try to tell them, look for this guy because there's going to be a whole lot of doom and gloom around this season.
wow.
I'm going to do my best to really focus on the young guys that people should really be just name recognition. Just get out. Hey, have you seen it? So JC, have you seen, whoever it is, just get that name out over and over and over until they're like, okay, yeah, Sandy, we got it. Yeah, this guy. Just to help.
I'm hearing you're going to be the Cardinals prophet.
Yeah.
I mean, the voice of the one crying in the wilderness, prepare ye the way of Thomas the Italian.
Yes. Oh my God.
Maybe. Just kind of, I'm going to do my best as a casual fan to help another casual fan not feel like the Cardinals are just absolutely, don't perpetuate the doom and gloom that's going to be around, because it's not going to be the greatest season that Cardinals Nation is used to, probably. So I think that's my one and only that I can say that I'm going to resolve to do. Like I am going to promise a Cardinals organization that I'll do my best of promoting their young players to the people around me.
Wow. It's so hilarious to just take the listeners behind the curtain here. Andy has not had an opportunity to listen to our conversation with Scott. It's just so funny that that resolution is so in line with the resolutions that we've already posted on this podcast. You were just banging it right down home.
Yep. Wow. Good job. Nice. Well, that'll be nothing new for those of you who listened to the 10 minutes earlier. But
sorry about that, guys.
No, he reaffirmed it all. It's perfect. It's perfect.
This is where the Cardinals Nation needs to be, right in this space.
Yeah. And it is funny because you got to think, between all of us here, including Scott, we all have a little bit different opinions on these things or outlooks on it, but we all kind of came to the same place,
right?
Which is good for the Cardinals.
Yes.
I think they would appreciate that. So, all right, let's move on to Carlos Beltran's Hall of Fame case. So, before I get into breaking out how we're going to do this, I just want to remind folks who are listening, every year, the BBWAA, which, what the heck does that mean? Baseball Writers
Profile. What is that?
They don't have it. It's an organization. It's the Baseball Writers Association. I don't know what the other A is, so just you guys can fill that in if you want.
Of America or something, yeah.
Okay, well, sure. Okay,
yeah.
So what they do, it's all the writers. You have to be in this career for a certain amount of time to get credentials to vote for this, and you have to. So a bunch of new players will, after they've played, they have to be retired for 5 years. They get on the ballot. These writers vote for them, and you have to have, I believe it is 5% of the vote to remain on the ballot. Yes. And you are on the ballot for 10 years. So there's not necessarily a number of players that are elected each year because you have to meet a 75% threshold. So it could be, some years it's 2, some years it's 3. I cannot remember any more than 3. Matt or Andy, do you?
No, I mean, I'd have to look it up and have it in front of me, but that seems to be a pretty good. And one thing that's happened recently is it's all been complicated by like steroid use. Mm-hmm. We're just right smack in the middle of the, like, A-Rod is on the Hall of Fame ballot, and without the steroid allegations, he's no doubt first ballot, but we're just right in the middle of that. So it has been odd lately for sure.
Right. So again, to kind of wrap this all up, we are going to talk about Carlos Beltran, who has been on the ballot this is going to be his 3rd year. The first year, I think he got 40% of it. The second year is 57%, or I may be mixing the years, but he's slowly increasing his total of percent vote, which is good for him. Mm-hmm. So we are going to pitch a case for him. Andy is going to act as the judge here.
Totally impartial.
Impartial.
I love him so much.
Yeah, you don't like Beltran, so we're really going to have to sell this big time.
You are going to have to sell it.
All right, so we're going to make a case for him, and we're going to make a case against him. So at the
I have a trump card for why it's against. So go ahead, but you're gonna have to do some hard yeses on me.
All right. So Matt, would you like to approach the jury for your case for him, and I'll help you?
Yes, of course. May it please the court. My first piece of evidence is that there are 38 players in MLB history with 1,500 runs and 1,500 RBIs.
Name them.
I'm not going to name all 38. However, 30 of them are in the Hall of Fame. 2 of them are also named Miguel Cabrera and Albert Pujols, who are going to be in the Hall of Fame. So that's 32 out of 38. Beltran is also one of them. So just an overwhelming percentage of guys with that level of production over the course of their careers has found their way to Cooperstown. And I'm just going to go, and my first piece of evidence here, I'm just going to throw in another like similar stat as far as that is concerned. There are 5, count them 5, I will name them in a moment, 5 players with 500 doubles, 400 home runs, and 300 stolen bases. So you're talking about power, you're talking about production, but you're also talking about speed on the base paths. That is the aforementioned A-Rod, who would be no doubt in the Hall of Fame because without the steroids thing. Barry Bonds, also a steroids issue, but there. Andre Dawson, who it took some time for the Big Hawk to get into the Hall of Fame, but he eventually got the call. Willie Mays, an unimpeachable inner circle Hall of Famer, and Carlos Beltran, who is the only of those players to do it as a switch hitter, might I add.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. That was the number one, Andy. If I was the co-counsel and I walked to the platform or to the jury, I would say the 300 stolen bases, 400 home runs, 500 doubles. That is an elite of the elite company. Like that stat alone, if you remove everything else that I'm going to walk through, I think that would get you to the Hall of Fame because that is a group that not many people are going to crack. And if you take A-Rod and Bonds off, like let's say that they were on steroids, like that's why they got there. You're talking about 3 people in the history of the game that have ever done that. That's unbelievable.
Well, I even think the fact that Bonds and A-Rod are in that stat like strengthens Beltran's case because
it does.
You have 2 affirmed, PED users in that 5.
Yeah,
and also true. I just on real quick side note, Andre Dawson, like I knew he was good. He was on the Cubs at points during my childhood, but man, that is an incredible stat for that guy to have amassed too.
Yeah, that is. So, okay. So Andy, before I approach here legitimately for my case, how do you feel so far?
I mean, those are good stats, right? I mean, there's absolutely no denying that. I still have a trump card to that. I still have a negative trump card.
Yep. And I've read where these voters, it's changed over the years because it used to be really important for like these counting stats. So average, like the traditional wins by a pitcher. Now it's these guys who played in an era where that was not as important, like OPS and WAR, right? You're seeing where the voting is, I don't want to say it's hurting them, but it's really changing things here.
Yeah, so I still think if you were to get 3,000 hits, 500 home runs, those are, and you have no steroid those are basically automatic. But what I think we're seeing some very, very good players who, to your point, they walked more. They didn't have more hits.
Yeah.
In fact, I heard something just real interesting. Another real quick side road. I heard that Tony Gwynn, who's basically considered one of the greatest hitters of all time, Bobby Abreu made fewer outs than Tony Gwynn did. Had a higher on base percentage. So as far it's just different. It's a slightly different game, and we value things slightly differently. And but man, those Beltran stats, those 2 that I quoted right off the top, the guy's got the counting numbers too. Really, it's crazy.
He does. And so Andy, the only other quote like counting stats that I would help with that is he has a career 70.1 WAR, which I looked up. What is like the WAR threshold, and this is going to be use to use, like use case to use case per the player, but it's typically over 60 is what's going to get you in. That's what I have seen. So he's past that. He has had a 20-year career, which I know it's like, wow, great. He's played for 20 years. Well, towards the end of your career, you can start to tank some of your stats. So having a longer career does not always equal more better when it comes to the Hall of Fame. Yeah. So the fact that he had that longevity, he was the Rookie of the Year, he had some gold gloves. And then the other 2 that I thought was really interesting was he has a 1,021 career OPS in the postseason, which not many people have done that. That list is pretty exclusive. Don't ask me to quote it. But
he's 8th all time in postseason OPS with a minimum of 200 bats. 8th all time.
Yeah, that's crazy. And the other one is he has the highest percentage stolen bases, or the highest stolen base percentage of qualified people over 300 attempts ever in the history of the league. So that tells me
he was caught stealing is what you're saying?
Yes. So I think his caught stealing, like he was like 90%, or it's like 89%. So we got caught stealing like 11% of the time. Now, that stat can be taken 2 ways. It's either he was really cherry picking when he stole, right? So like you've seen Goldschmidt. Here's a good example. He's slow as dirt, right? But he stole a lot of bases over. He's stolen a lot of bases over his career because he just knows when to steal. The problem is with Beltran is he was swiping bags when he was younger. He was a fast guy because he's on a list like
he's got 300 stolen bases. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like he's on a list with Trey Turner, which if you've ever seen the magic slide Trey Turner ever in your life.
Oh, the magic slide of Trey Turner. I still don't understand how it does. Like video game physics or something.
It is. So anyway, so I think that there's nothing else I could add other than those to his 4. His stats, they speak for themselves. Those lists in the group that he's in speaks for themselves. So. Andy, what do you think for the case for him?
Oh, the co-counsel is going to add something to the 70 WAR real quick.
I'm sorry.
No, it's
Go
okay.
ahead.
It's okay. I just a level deeper on the 70 WAR. 55 of the 64 position players to amass 70 WAR in their career are in the Hall of Fame. So, and there is a group that are not in of those 64. So 55 out of 64, that's 9 position players are not in to have amassed 70 WAR. One of those is Albert Pujols, who will be a no doubt inner circle. Like, I can't wait to do the Pujols Hall of Fame case pod because it's just gonna be like, okay, put him in next segment. Yep. Yeah. Okay, so Pujols, A-Rod, Bonds, Rafael Palmeiro, another steroid abuser, Pete Rose, who's got the gambling situation, and Mike Trout already has 70 WAR in his career. So that's it. Again, we've got just like incredible players. And I'll be honest with you, when I was doing like the background of the pro Beltran case, I kind of knew, he was a good player, always a good player. I was scared to death of him when he was on those Mets team. As a Cardinals fan. And then when he got to the Cardinals, I know the 1,000 plus OPS in the playoffs is true because we've referenced this before, but Jonathan and I would just text back and forth Beltran's last name when he had some kind of extra base hit in the playoff, but we do it in all caps. And so for the rest of my life, even now on a different iPhone, if I were to try to type Beltran's name in, it tries to autocorrect to all caps because the dude was just always getting big hits in the postseason. And so I was kind of blown away by the pro Beltran case, to be honest. I think it's just like overwhelmingly pro put Beltran in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
I think that Carlos
I know
Beltran,
we have your trump card. I know we do. But like just respond to the massive evidence.
No,
in front of you.
I am. I think that Carlos Beltran, numbers only, is going to be the same place that Pete Rose is at, A-Rod is at, Barry Bonds is at, and the fact that there's something tarnishing this man's legacy.
Yeah.
And the numbers alone, Pete deserves, by numbers alone, to be in the Hall of Fame.
Sure.
A-Rod, numbers alone, deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Carlos Beltran is a listed cheater and is marred by that and will be marred by that. Now, whether or not it's to the same level of Pete Rose or A-Rod or any of the other steroid users is up to the people who vote, and I won't be voting. I'm not one of the voters. He has one championship ring. That championship ring should have an asterisk next to it because it had beaten drums that year. And he was named. And the reason why he had to stop managing is because he was named as a cheater. And so that's a tough look for the Hall of Fame.
Okay, you didn't respond to the pro case and all. You just played the trump card.
Yeah, I did. I said numbers. I know.
I know.
To be in the Hall of Fame.
I think on numbers.
You're right.
Yeah,
you're right.
I think Andy on numbers. I think that he could be a first or second ballot Hall of Famer, like on numbers alone. I really do. And for those of you who are listening, like, what the heck does that mean? If you're on a first ballot and it's the first time you are on the ballot for these voters to vote for you and you get in, that's a pretty overwhelming case for you to be like, wow, you were really good.
Poo-Poo is going to be first ballot.
And he should be unanimous, which is another like really awesome thing to happen is everybody votes for you, get 100% of the vote. Yep. So for numbers alone, I think there's no question he would be a first or second ballot Hall of Famer. And then real quick before we get to the case against him, because I think this is an interesting conversation. Pete Rose, he missed his prime by about 40 years, man. If he was playing today and could just go to his locker room and like just throw like a couple hundo on something DraftKings, he would have just literally been living his best life. Now, I don't know if he would have gotten hits off everybody now with the stuff they throw, but from betting, he just missed it.
Yeah.
He just missed it.
He did. So, okay. I could just imagine a Pete Rose like online personality presence though, because the guy was kind of like a couple screws short of like a full bolt case or whatever the dumb thing is.
I mean, did I already list the con? I mean, right? Is that the thing that's
I have some other evidence to help with that. But yes, that is the con. The con is, so we'll just get right into it. The case against him. For those of you who don't know what happened, in 2017 was his last year he played. He played for the Houston Astros, and after they beat the Dodgers in the World Series in 2017, there was a huge report that came out that they were cheating, that they were using little buzzers underneath their shirts, that they were using cameras that would be looking at the signs, and then it was connected to a camera back in the dugout, and they would hit a trash can to know what pitch was coming.
Like down the hallway of down to the clubhouse.
Right, and a lot of that for years was it was inconclusive. We didn't really know what was fact or fiction. And what Andy's alluding to is there was a report that had come out, and Beltran was the manager, I think, of the Mets.
Yeah, Mets. Yep.
And when this came out, Beltran was one of the only players listed by name
Yep.
that orchestrated this, which is, I think, what Andy is alluding to. And I just have a quote for the jury here. I'm going to approach the stand here. He said, and in a quote by The Athletic, said, "A lot of people always ask me, why didn't you stop it?" says Beltran. And my answer is this: I didn't stop it the same way no one stopped it. This is working for us. Why are you going to stop something that is working for you? If the organization said something to us, we would have stopped it for sure. So, not to get into this huge diatribe here, but
no, I think we should, because I have a hot take about this.
What this tells me, well, you know what? I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait to the end. Matt, go ahead, please. Hot take it.
Well, okay. Two things. One is much quicker. First of all, for them to use cameras and buzzers is like kind of a modern, like a modern heist movie, you know, where they're like hacking into the network and they're doing all this stuff. And then for one of the other key elements to be banging on a trash can, like they could have been doing that in the 1920s, you know, and it's just such a funny mismatch of like present day technology with the old trash can. You know, it's just a funny mismatch to me.
And just to add to that, just the funniness of this, like, so Beltran's the one who like helped orchestrate this. Who's the person that's in the room that's like, what if we bang on a trash can? And they're like, "You madman."
Okay, we need a signal. We need a signal. What's going to work? Yeah.
Yeah. Like, what if it's like, you know, somebody's scratching their, you know what? Because, you know, stuff that happens in baseball. It's like always random, these signs. And like, let's just hit a trash can.
Yeah.
Okay. Continue.
Okay. So I will say, this is the first thing I'm going to say about this whole sign stealing scandal is the one of the main reasons why he is the only player named is that the rest of the players are still active. And the players union threw a big fit about not having active players mentioned in this report. And so to me, I'm not saying this is good, obviously, but I think Beltran got hung out to dry a little bit because it just happened to be during the last year of his career that he's involved in this thing. And so he gets mentioned, and it's only because he's retired at that point. And so I think if you heard names like Beltran, Altuve, Springer, Bregman, you know, I don't know for sure who is involved in this kind of thing. Let's be honest, Beltran's at the end of his career. He is not a key contributor, not as much as like Altuve and some of those other guys I named. He's at the very end of his career here. I think he got hung out to dry on this a little bit, to be honest.
Andy, what do you think? I don't know if you've heard that quote that I had mentioned, and then the evidence that Matt brought. What do you think about that?
I mean, I mean, again, I think that he ultimately is Andre Dawson. When did someone do some notes? Did anybody have notes? When did Andre Dawson get in? What year? Does anybody know off the top of your head? Like what year?
I don't. It's probably
Dawson,
somewhere.
I'll look it up. I'll look it up while you're talking.
Somewhere in the 2000s, I bet. Yeah, go ahead.
So, I mean, obviously, statistically, is he similar in the same realm as Andre Dawson? Because if Andre Dawson is taking year 7, 8, 9 to get into the Hall of Fame, so we have a guy who may be statistically around the same as him. So he's maybe a 7, 8, 9 year Hall of Famer. And then he has a named scandal on his, it's just a black mark.
Yeah. I see what you're saying. If he gets in, it would be later on in the voting cycle. If you're on there for 10 years, maybe he gets on
he'd be,
8th or 9th.
Yeah, he'd be
something.
Yeah. And so now we have, yes, I hear what Matt is saying for sure, that like he, you know, like 4 years when some of the other guys start retiring, they can start naming them. Then they're going to have their own little scandal, reprise of the scandal. I hear what Matt is saying is that, he got named and he got done dirty because he was just retiring.
Did you see when he got in?
Yeah, we got tech on it. He was inducted in 2010.
Oh, okay.
Now he retired. He retired in 1996, so it took him a long time.
Yeah,
to get through.
So here's my question.
You don't know what year like of eligibility that was for Andre Dawson?
I think you go on the ballot 5 years after your career is done. So we're talking 14 years. I mean, yeah, he was very late in a way that honestly, he probably should not have been as late because of some of those stats we dug up, just kind of coincidentally about Beltran.
Either way, okay, sorry.
Here's my bigger thing about this Beltran cheating scandal thing. I know this is going to sound insane. I don't know if I care. I really don't. I know he played. I realize he was a part of the team. I realize they cheated. But I got to say, I think there's been cheating in baseball all the way through. And it just doesn't move me in some of the ways. Like I'm sitting here right now and I'm just like, okay, yep. So he was a part of this. He was not the only part of it. The entire organization went in on it. And that's his 20th year in the major leagues. And the guy, we're talking about a career here of going into the Hall of Fame. I know that this is a black mark. I know this is a negative thing. But like Ty Cobb was doing insane things and like spiking people and screaming racist stuff on the field, and he's in the Hall of Fame. So I realize there's also a morality clause in the Hall of Fame. But here's my thing. I'd put all the steroids guys in. I'd vote for all of them because there were pitchers on steroids. I just, if you want to mark that on the plaque, I mean, Pete Rose should have gotten in during his lifetime. And if you want to mark that Pete Rose cheated, like bet on the game, like if you want to mark that on the plaque, go ahead. This guy is a Hall of Fame baseball player, period.
So this is what I struggle with the most. And I majority of me agrees with what you just said, but I struggled with, like, you look at, I'm going to just take A-Rod. You look at A-Rod, and this ties to Beltran because it's this black mark thing, right? HGH, all this steroid stuff, right? But like A-Rod had 117 career WAR. I told you that the bar was typically 60 or 70. That's absolutely insane. Like if you look at the longevity of his career.
Put him in.
Here's my whole thing. If the Hall of Fame is supposed to be the exclusive of the exclusive, if getting to the major leagues is extremely difficult, it is difficult, right? But then getting to the Hall of Fame is even more difficult than that. I think, after looking at this, that nobody who has any part of steroids, the Astro scandal, I don't think anybody should get in. I think that no one should get in, that it is so exclusive that if you decide to cheat, if you're Beltran and you did this knowingly, and I know it's at the end of your career and it maybe doesn't matter as much. I just believe that if it's this exclusive club, and there is this morality thing.
Keep your nose straight.
You got that. That is what's part of it. You have to have the stats, and you have to keep clean. So I am
nose clean, not nose straight. Sorry.
No, it's okay. I'm in favor of, and I know you can't. It's hard to retroactively do it, and there's no argument against like Pete Rose and these other guys and Barry Bonds and their stats. But I think it's a two things have to get you in: your stats, your career, and who you were as a person. Now I know you can't go back and change all of the people who are already in it. But going forward, if I was Major League Baseball,
if you're a voter,
if I was a voter, but if I was Major League Baseball, I'd take away the 2017 World Series from the Astros, and I would, if whoever was mentioned in that, I don't care if you were a recipient or not, I don't think I would allow you to be a part of it. I wouldn't allow you to be a part of the Hall of Fame, just because if you're going to make it this elite, really special place, you need to have some parameter on it, and you can't let people who
it's not so cutthroat and you're just doing whatever doing whatever it takes.
That's where I get hung up, is I think that it's got to be exclusive and you can't just let anybody in, even if they cheated, right? Because if you think about it, look at the next class. Ichiro is going to be a one of one. He's going to get in 100%. Should CC Sabathia get in? Probably. And you look at these other guys who played the game, quote, we'll say it the right way, right? They did not cheat. They didn't take steroids. That knowingly, right? We don't know these things, but let's assume that they don't. They deserve to get in more than somebody like Beltran, even if his stats are better. He has this black mark. There are other guys who played the game better, or maybe not better, the right way, who I think deserve to get in. What do you think?
Andy, you go ahead.
I sit on that fence. I sit with you. Like you got to have something I mean, how many times have we had a walk-off wisdom? And the walk-off wisdom is about how you live your life. And that should apply to who we enshrine and glorify in terms of they have a plaque. That's where I sit as well. Like, and I hear Matt, like it's an injustice because there's probably a lot of people. What's the saying? It's only illegal if you get caught.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure there are other people who are sitting in the Hall of Fame that are just as big a cheater as whomever. But I think that you do have to try to hold that bar. Like if we're going to have walk-off wisdoms off this podcast and say, hey, just treat people the right way, then I think we also need to enshrine and glorify people who are following that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So what I'm hearing is that you guys would take away Hall of Fame candidacy for every single player who hit a double and stood on second base and looked in to see the catcher's signs. Now I realize you can't do that anymore with the new tracking system that they have, but prior to this last couple seasons, and they stole the sign and they somehow signaled it to the hitter, and the hitter knew what was coming. Is that cheating?
No, and I'll tell you why. That is within the bounds of the game of baseball. You're standing on second base. You don't have to have. It is, though, because you don't have to have technology. Like we're talking about using a camera, like literal technology to zoom in on that stuff and do that. When you're playing on second base, that's like hearing the call in football when you're on the defensive side and you hear the quarterback and you've done your research and you know what it is. Yep. I think that's a little bit different than taking steroids, which are proven to actually help you hit the ball further or whatever it is, and then actually using technology to do it. So I don't think that standing on second and stealing signs. That's just part of the game in the lines of the game. Does that make sense?
It does. It absolutely does. I just wouldn't do it. I just wouldn't do it to this guy. This is the very end of his career. This is his last season. This is the last postseason round. I just wouldn't do it to him. I would put him in.
I mean,
I would.
I think that's why I think this is difficult, because I like Beltran. I think his stats are insane, but I just feel like the morality issue is, if you're going to make this exclusive, you got to make it exclusive. You have to. There's just like a one. It's a one size fits all. You know, you kind of have to do this, and if you don't, you're out.
I just think you're wiping like an entire historical era of the game. Then I realize steroids and this Astros cheating thing are two different issues, but if you wipe all these guys out, it's a baseball Hall of Fame. It is the Hall of Fame for baseball. So during this era, these were the best players, and this is what happened this era. Look, these guys, pitchers get surgeries all the time that save careers that would have been destroyed in the 1920s. It's a different era. It's a different game. We have access to different technologies. The flights they're taking, the nutrient, like all that stuff. It's just a completely and totally different thing.
I do think
just wiping a whole era of baseball out.
Yeah. Let me, Andy, what do you think about this? I think I was looking at some research at HGH and what these guys took. I think that what Beltran and the Astros did is worse than taking steroids.
Yeah.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
I'll tell you why I think so. Because if you look at HGH and you read about it, I read a Harvard study, and it's inconclusive whether HGH can actually help you or not. Mark McGwire hit home runs because he's good at baseball. He may have hit a few more home runs because his body repaired a little bit quicker, maybe, with the steroids he was taking. But the guy could still see and hit the ball. The HGH should not help with this guy's ability to do this.
Right.
So that is a little grayer area for me. It really is. But when you're talking about taking technology, doing something outside of bounds of the game and trying to cheat and win, that is different to me. I think. It's worse. I don't know.
Well, I mean, steroids usage, you're just gonna be stronger. Period. A natural lifter versus there are loads of studies out there of muscle gain. There you go. So I would love to maybe pull up exit velocity of the steroid age versus now. What was it? Is it faster in the steroid era? Were they hitting the ball literally harder because they had literally more muscle? That would be a good way to define your gray area there, Jonathan, on HGH and PEDs. Did that help? To transition real quick, didn't Beltran DH for a long portion of those last part of his career? Does that
maybe in Houston? He played in the outfield for us, right field, I believe.
Yeah. Well, in those days, the NL, there was no DH still. So
is that a thing? Do you think, real quick, just talk about the position, like DH versus an everyday position player? Does that, if you're a voter, if you're a writer or somebody who has a vote, do you think about that? Do you think about, okay, this guy was a DH or this guy was a position player all of his life?
I do, but here's how I'd answer that. And Beltran did have 3 Gold Gloves in the outfield, so it's not like he was stumbling and bumbling out there, right? Even if you took away all his defensive stuff, I think his stats, if he just was a DH his whole career, I think his stats get him in.
Yeah.
So I do think DHs have to be taken a little bit differently. I think that their stats really have to sing, but I think Beltran's stats are an entire opera from the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah. Yeah. So
my final verdict is I think he gets in on year 9 or 10. That's what I think.
Oh.
That's my prediction.
So even with it, but what would you do?
What would you do if you had Yeah.
Let's all transition to members of the jury here. Juror number 1, what would you say?
I would not vote for him.
Okay.
I wouldn't put him in either, just based on what I've said. I got to try to stand for my case here. I wouldn't do it.
Juror number 3 is voting for entry into the Hall of Fame, which makes us a hung jury, case dismissed. And so see you guys later.
Yeah.
It's tough. I think he gets in on year 9 or 10, something like that. I really do. Ultimately, I think he gets in.
I think my problem with all this is that there will be other players that come along in this ballot that I ultimately think deserve to be in more because of what they've done. They don't have these things. That's where if this was just him on his merit, I think he eventually gets in. But whenever these other guys start popping up, Pujols, Ichiro's coming, Yachty, these other guys may deserve it more than he does. That's where it gets tough for me.
Yeah.
Well, it will be interesting
because they're in the same club. There's no difference. There's not top tier. I mean, there's they got in first ballot, but they're still part of the same thing.
I don't hate the asterisk thing, if I'm frank with you. I don't hate that. Like, but I don't know.
You
I
could
don't
do
know.
that to all the steroid guys too. Put A-Rod in
Yeah.
and put a huge asterisk on his plaque. Go ahead. I think it's fine. I do.
The only thing I can't get over is like all the good people that did it the right way. Then it's like, well, what does it matter for them? They don't
have
an
no
asterisk.
Yeah, they don't have one. You can go down and look at their plaque and be like, boy, Al Kaline, he did it the right way.
Right.
Babe Ruth played against no black players, but he did it the right way. You know, like there's stuff in every era.
Babe Ruth ate hot dogs and smoked in the dugout. He's getting in.
That's what I'm saying. There's stuff in every era that's different.
Yep, I agree.
I think you could even put some of that stuff in there. If you're honest, if you're in charge of the Hall of Fame, I think you do.
Yeah.
Well, just to wrap all this up, let's walk it off after we've now gotten nowhere as a hung jury and go through this. And my walk-off wisdom is, in all labor, there is profit. So in everything that you do, every time that there's nobody watching and you do something and it's work, there's profit in it. Somehow, somewhere, it profits you, or it profits someone around you. Or so just remember that whenever you're feeling low about, like you're tired of the grind, you can remember that whatever you're doing, as long as you're working and not just yapping about that, if you talk about it, there's no profit in that. You got to do it. So a little bit of a Nike swoosh, but in all labor, there is profit.
Hit that trash can with honor. Just do it.
That's it.
Just keep hitting it quietly.
I was just thinking about all the profit that Beltran brought to his teams over the year. Like, he really labored hard.
So with all that, after you have been laboring now, hang in there. We just want to say, first of all, Scott, never met you. Sorry that I didn't meet you, but thanks for coming on, man. I appreciate that. Thanks for coming on and hanging out with my brothers. Hope you had a great time. And for the listener, thanks for tuning in to the Redbird Rundown, your go-to spot for all things St. Louis Cardinals. Be sure to subscribe, rate, and review the show to help us grow the Redbird Rundown community. Follow us on Twitter at Redbird Rundown 2, on Blue Sky. Find us on Facebook. And maybe, give a shout out to Brant Brown. Get him on here for second interview. Scott, you had the first. Maybe Brant could be number 2. But until next time, keep those rally caps on. Of course, let's go Cards.
Let's go Cards.